I hope you are able to see the screen and my voice is also audible. So in the last session, what we have done is we have just modeled the grid lines and all. So I have just opened it. So if you don't know how to open the model, so just go to File and then you can see an option called Open. And then once you click Open, in the last class, I mean, wherever you have saved the file, go to that particular location. And this is my file location, or this is my file, which is ends with .fdb. So you can use this one and then click on Open, so that you will be directing to this particular template, whichever we have used in the last session. So that's this part. So I'll just show it once. So click on File, Open, select the file whichever we have saved in the last session, and then click on Open. So that's how we can open the file. So in the last session, we have just seen how to do the modeling of grids. All right. Now, in this session, I'll show you how to do the modeling of a simple footing and multiple options. There are some basic commands that we need to know. So those things I'll explain first, and then we'll jump into the detailing of how to do the material properties or how to define the column properties, footing properties, all these things we'll see as much as possible. Right. So if you observe here, there are grid lines, 4 grid lines. Okay, that is A, B, C, and D along y-axis, and along x-axis we have 6 grid lines starting from 1 to 6. So now what we have to do is let us understand a couple of commands here. So the first command that we are going to understand is the command called select object command. So what exactly is this? Suppose if you see here, there is one command at the top right side. So I think you can see the marking portion also. There is an arrow here. So what does this arrow indicates is this arrow is basically select object icon. That means if you select this one, it is used to select the object. So whichever object you want to select, it is used to select the object. That's the first one. And then the second one that is there just below that. Okay. So an arrow which is with couple of lines are there. So this is usually used to reshape an object. Suppose let's say whenever you are doing, suppose let's say you have drawn a rectangle shape or square shape. Now you want to edit this particular shape. So when you want to edit this particular shape, we can use this particular option, which is called as a reshape object. So if you don't know what exactly these icons are, if you just keep the cursor over the icon, it will show you or it will display what is the type of icon that is there. So you can click on each type of the icon. So you can see select object, and then you can see the reshape object. Likewise, this is the next one, which is used to draw the slabs or areas. So technically speaking, we can draw the irregular shapes, we can draw the regular shapes. We can do anything with these with this particular icon, that is draw slabs or areas. So it is also called, this particular icon is also called as multiple point option. This particular icon, the icon which is with draw slabs or areas, this particular icon is called as multiple point option. Now what we will do is let us draw some irregular shapes. Let us draw quickly one irregular shape. So just click on this icon. Okay, draw shapes or irregular areas. So just click on this and you can see a dialog box has getting popped up. So it is asking what type of object you want to draw. So if you click on this drop down, you can see there is a slab, one option, and the second one is opening. So opening is nothing but it's an open space, nothing like a closed area. Usually we draw the slabs or we draw the footings, columns, beams, whatever that are there. They're all closed areas only. So we'll select slab. And the property. Property is something, this is a by default one. Okay, this will come in any software. I mean, like this will come in whenever you install a software, this option will be there. So let it be like this. I'll explain about this one in the later case. And then you can see another option, which is called as edge drawing type. So how you want to draw the edge? So basically we draw the straight lines only. We never draw the curvy lines. But if you want any other types, you can see an arc with 3 points, arc with a center and 2 points, multilinear, Bezier, and spline. So we'll explore all these things one by one as we progress towards the different types of footings. So currently what I'll select is I'll select a straight line. So what does it mean? So now I'm going to draw a slab which is with a straight line. That's what I mean here. Okay, right. So once you select these options, just click on any particular point. So I'm just clicking on one particular point in the window and then freely move your cursor. You can see the dimension is also coming out. Okay, if you clearly observe, there is a dimension that is also coming out. Just click wherever you need and then freely move to the next point. So you can see I'm just freely moving it to the next point and then click again and then freely move to the next point and then click. So like this, click at any particular point and then freely move to the next points. So this is the slab. So that's how you can draw a slab. Suppose if you want to draw a pure rectangular slab, so how will you do that? So just click at one particular point and then freely move to one particular point. Okay, so you can see a typical straight line is coming down there. So how to identify whether it is a straight line or not? If it is a straight line, you can see a rectangular dotted lines in green color. I hope you can see the rectangular dotted lines in the green color. I'll just move it. So when I'm not there in the straight line, you don't see that rectangular dotted lines. But when I keep exactly straight, you can see rectangular dotted lines on either sides, on the left side as well as on the right side. So just freely move the cursor till to the distance, whatever that you need. Like currently I'm at 10.2 meters and 10 meters. So just click it there and then freely move downwards or upwards according to your convenience. So I'll just go with 5.9 meters and then again click it. And you can see the angle also, the angle of the line as well, which is 90 degrees angle. So when it means it's a 90 degrees angle, it's a perfect straight line. So just click again and then freely move, click it and then close it. So that's how you can draw the slabs. Right? So you can draw these kind of slabs in multiple ways. So this is one way. Okay, we'll explore multiple options. We'll explore one by one. But I just want to introduce you to the basic objects. So that's how you can draw the slabs. So that's the first option. And the second option is, you can see there is another option, which is this one. Okay, you can see an option here, which is here. Draw rectangular slab or areas. Okay, draw rectangular slabs or areas. So once you click on this particular icon, you will see another dialog box that is popping out, this one. So what is the type of object? Basically, we will draw the slabs only. So let it be slabs. And the property, let it be slab also. Okay, that is slab one. By default one, it will come. So if you want to know how to draw a slab, okay, just click on this one. I'll show it again. Click on this icon, that is draw rectangular slabs or areas. And then a dialog box pops out. So you have to select which type of object you want to draw and what is the property of that particular object. Currently, we did not define any kind of property, so we are going with the default property, which is given by the SAFE software itself. So just select that one and then close the dialog box. So before closing the dialog box, let me draw a slab here in the grid lines, whichever we have drawn. So select this one and then slab one is the property. Close the dialog box and then click on any point in the grid lines. Okay, any particular point. So make sure that you are placing your cursor exactly at the center. So when you place the cursor exactly at the center, you will see a red color plus symbol. Okay, you will see a red color plus symbol. So just click on that plus symbol and then click on the other points. Okay, whichever points we can see. So I'll just click on this particular point. Okay, and then I'll click on the other point, which is at the bottom and this particular point. So now I have clicked. Now actually what is there is the command is still in the active state only. Now how to disable the command? So in order to disable the command, you can see an option called arrow mark, that is select object. So just click on the select object so that whatever is your previous command, that command will get disabled. Okay, that command will get disabled. See, now if I click, nothing is coming out. But when I click this one, suppose let me show you in this way. So I'm selecting draw rectangular slabs or areas. So I'm just selecting this one. Let it be these default things. Now I'm clicking here. Okay, you can see a point is coming down. Right. So like this, we can select any points, whatever that is required. So now what I'll do is I'll select once again. Okay, select the type of object is slab and then property is slab one. Now in the grid lines, whatever that we have drawn, keep the cursor at any point. Okay, keep the cursor at any point and click it and then drag it. Okay, see, I'm dragging. So what I'm doing, I'm just keeping the cursor at any point, at any particular point. Let me see that at this particular point, I'm going to give. So you can see the grid point number also, that is B5. So for each grid point intersection, we'll have the grid point labeling. So you can see at the bottom, A1, this is B1, this is C1, this is D1. So what is A, B, C, and D? You can see the grid point notations. Okay, A, B, C, and D. Likewise, for each grid point, you can see the grid lines. I mean, the grid point labels. So now what I'll do is I'm just clicking on the first point. Okay, and then freely move to the or freely drag to another corner point. Right, another corner point. And once you match to the another corner point, you just leave it over there. Okay, you just leave it over there. Now the slab is actually drawn. Okay, now the slab is actually drawn. So just select the point, whichever you need, and then freely move to the corner point and then click on it, right? So now you don't see the slab here actually. Now how to see the slab? So you can see on the top bar, that is quick access bar, there is an option called 3D. Okay, there is an option called 3D. So just click on the 3D. You will see the same grid lines in the 3D portion. Okay, just click on 3D. Now, can you see the slabs that we have drawn? So now if you want to rotate this one, okay, if you want to rotate this one, there is an option which is called as a rotate. So this option, okay, you can see a rotate option is there. Just click on rotate. Okay, click on rotate, and you can see along with the cursor, some clockwise and anti-clockwise arrows are there. Now, left click on your mouse and then freely move it. So you can see the cursor is getting moved, and that's how the rotation will happen. Okay, right. So let me go to the XY plane. So XY plane is nothing but it's a two-dimensional area. 3D is nothing but you will see the depth dimension also. Whereas XY in the sense you will see only the length and width portion. So likewise, we can draw the slabs. You can see a slab has got come down. Similarly, let us draw one more slab. So how to draw one more slab? So just click on draw rectangular slabs or areas. Okay, select the type of object as slab and the property as slab one. And then what you have to do is you can click on any one intersection point, just click on it and then freely drag it. Okay, just drag it to the another corner point and then leave it. So once you do this one, then you will be getting the slab. Can you see the slab? So that's how we can model the slabs. Okay, that's the simplest form of modeling the slabs. Similarly, if you want to do one more slab, one more modeling of the slab, so I'll do it somewhere here. So just click on the point and then freely drag. So after clicking, don't leave the cursor. Okay, just click and then drag it. So you can see the slab that is coming down. If you don't see the slab immediately, just zoom in or zoom out, you will see the slab immediately. Okay, as soon as you just click it and then drag it, you don't see the slab. See, now we are not able to see the slab. So either just zoom in or zoom out, you will see the slab. So that's how you can model the slabs. Okay, this is basically modeling of rectangular slabs or areas. Now let's say here I have how many grids are there? There are almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are almost 15 grids are there. Now for 15 grids, if I want to select each and every grid and then model the slab, then it becomes difficult for me. Now assume that here it is only 15 grids, so I'll do it manually. Now let's say you are doing it for a multiple footings, or let's say some 100 footings are there. Now you want to model all the 100 footing slabs. How will you do that? So it's not possible, or it's possible actually, but it's a time consuming process to model each and every grid. Okay, just like that, it's time consuming process. So do we have an option to draw quickly all the slabs in a particular area or in a particular grid? Right, yes, we do have an option. Before that, let us see how to delete the modeled slabs. So I have modeled the slab. Suppose if you select here, okay, let's say I'm selecting this particular slab. So I'm just selecting it here. Okay, so how to select this one? See, if I'm clicking it, nothing is coming. Why? Because the command is still active. Whatever command that I have selected, see, the command is still active. I have drawn the slab here. So there is one more slab that I have drawn. So that means the command is still active. So how to disable the command? In order to disable the command, we have this option called select object. Okay, select object. Or you can also give right click on your mouse. Okay, just give right click on your mouse. It will be working. But most of the times, what you have to prefer is you prefer with the select object icon only. Why is it is because sometimes the right click will not function when you are modeling more number of elements. So that also I'll explain you whenever that scenario comes. But currently, let us focus on only one element, how to disable the current command. So in order to disable the current command, you can see an option called select object. So click on select object. You can see the command has got disabled. Now, even if I drag also, there is no slab that is coming down. See, I am just dragging and then zoom in, zoom out, nothing is coming out. So that's how you can disable a existing command. Now you want to select any particular slab. Let's say I want to delete this particular slab. This one, I want to delete it. This particular slab, I want to delete it. So how to delete that? So just click on that one. So click on the slab. Now you can see a green color outline has come to the slab. Okay, green color outline has come to the slab. So what does it mean? It means one area you have selected and that area is having 4 edges, 1, 2, 3, and 4. how I'm telling this, you don't need to count actually. So if you see at the bottom right side, bottom left side, you can see an option here, 1 areas and 4 edges selected. So how many areas we have selected? 1 area we have selected. And how many edges are there? 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 edges selected. Like this, we can select n number of objects. So let me select this one. I have selected this one and just click on delete in your keyboard. Delete. So once you select this one and then click on delete, it's gone. So select this one, delete. So select this one, delete. Now I want to delete all these slabs at a time. How to do that? Just drag it from left to right throughout your portion, which wherever your slab areas are there, just drag it from left to right. I hope you can see a dotted line, but make sure you are covering the complete slabs, complete element you have to cover. So I just select it. Now you can see the green color mark has come to all the slabs, whatever that are there. And you can see at the bottom left corner, okay, how many points selected? Total 41 points have been selected. How many areas? 11 areas have been selected. And how many edges are there? 47 edges have been selected. Now, once you select all these things and if you click delete, okay, if you click delete, all the slabs are gone. So like this, you can delete multiple objects at a time. So how to delete multiple objects at a time? So select, drag it from left to right so that all the elements will get selected and then hit delete in your keyboard so that all the elements, whatever the slabs or whatever the modeling that you have done so far, all those things will get deleted. Now, how to go back, how to undo and redo the sections. So you can see the undo and redo options, same like the Microsoft Word or STAD, ETABS, just like that, we have the same icons here. So the one is for undo and the other is for redo. So if you just press back, so you can see the slabs that are coming up. So if you just go back more and more, so it will take you to the previous selection. So that's how it comes. This is undo. Redo means you just click on the redo option so that all the slabs, whichever that are there, they will get deleted. So that's one thing. And here you can see one more option at the left pane. Okay, this I'll call it as this one, I'll call it as left pane. Okay, so here you can see one more option which is called as all. Okay, there is an option which is called as all. So what does this all means? Once you click on all, that means all the elements will get selected. Whatever the elements that are there in this particular sheet, all those elements will get selected. That's called all. And the next one below that, which is called as PS, that is called as previous selection. Okay, that's called as previous selection. What does it mean? So let me click on previous selection. So just click on PS, that's called as previous selection. Whichever objects that you have selected previously, only those objects will get selected. Okay, the previous selection means whichever objects you have selected previously, those objects will automatically get selected. And you can see one small arrow icon here at the bottom. Okay, this arrow icon. If you click on that one, you can see one more option. Let me click on that. You can see an option called CLR. That means a clear selection. Whichever ones you have selected, if you don't want to select it, so just click on CLR so that it will not select that option. That's called as clear selection. Right. So that's one way of drawing the slabs. Now let me show you how to quickly draw a slabs. Now I want to draw the slabs for all these elements. Okay, whatever the grids that are available, 15 grids that are available. For all these 15 grids, I want to draw a slabs at a time. How to do that? So there is an option which is called as a quick draw slabs or areas. You can see here. Okay, this particular option. I'll just highlight this one, this particular one. Sorry, not this one, the above one. This one. Okay, quick draw slabs or areas. You can see here, quick draw slabs or areas. So once you click on this one, a dialog box will get popped out. So just click on this and you can see a dialog box coming up. So what is the type of object? So we want to draw a slab. So property is slab one. Draw object using. So how you want to draw the object? So there are multiple options here. So draw object using grids, using points, using lines, using architecture layer. Architecture layer, we don't do it for the footings. So we only do it for the elevation purposes. So this is not required for us. So let us focus on these 3 points: grids, points, lines. So currently we have grids, right? We have drawn the grids already in the last session. So now I want to draw the slab by using grids. Okay, I want to draw the slab by using grids. So what I am doing, so if I want to quickly draw the slabs, just click on this one, which is called as quick draw slabs or areas. Okay, just click on this one. A dialog box gets popped out. So select the elements, whatever that is required. Now, what you have to do is just drag the cursor from any corner of the entire grid line and make sure all the grid lines are covered. Okay, all the grids are covered. Select that one. Now, can you see all the slabs have been modeled? Okay, all the slabs have been modeled. So let's say I want to do the clear selection. How to do the clear selection? Click on this arrow at the bottom and you can see an option called clear selection. So currently we have not selected anything. Okay, we have not selected anything. And that's the reason why this option clear selection has got disabled. If you select this one, see currently, have I selected this one? No. So here, why it is not selected? Because the command is still in the enabling state. Now, how to disable the command? Just click on the select object, this arrow on the left pane. So select on this one. Now the command has got disabled. Now, if you click on any slab, so let me click on any slab. Can you see a rectangular grid line? I mean, a rectangular green color line. Yes, that means this particular slab has got selected. And how to know whether the slab has got selected or not? Suppose, let's say you are unable to identify this green line. Now, how to identify whether a slab has got selected or not? So you always have to focus on the bottom left side of your screen. It will always tell you how many elements have been selected, how many areas have been selected. It will show you the details of your selection. Right. So currently I have selected one area and 4 edges. So I have selected this particular area, which is having 4 edges, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right. So now you can see, if you click here, you can see previous selection, clear option. So if you do clear selection, what will happen? This slab area will not get selected. Let me show you that. So just click on clear selection. Now, can you see the option of one area, 4 edges selected? No. What happened? Because it has cleared the selection. Whatever is your previous selection, it has cleared that. Now, by mistake, you have clicked on the clear selection. Now, how to go back to the previous selection? So in order to go back to the previous selection, you have this option, which is called as PS. Okay, that you can see the option there, get previous selection. So just click on get previous selection. Now, can you see the rectangular green color rectangular line? And you can also see one area, 4 edges selected. So this option is very important when you are when you are selecting multiple slabs or multiple portions in an element or in your drawing. Suppose, let's say here I have only 15 grids, so it's easy for me. Now let's say you have a complicated drawing. Let's say I am selecting this one. Okay, you can see I am selecting this one. Let me clear these ones. So you can keep a focus on at the bottom left side of the screen. Okay, 2 areas, 8 edges selected. And then I'll select one more here. You can see 3 areas. So I have selected 3 areas, 4 areas, 5 areas. So like that, you can select as many things as possible. Now you want to delete all these slabs. I don't want to model these slabs. So how to delete these ones? Just drag it from left to right and make sure the entire slab has to get covered. If you miss out covering the slabs, let me show you that. See, now currently, how many slabs I am covering? So first 3 I'm covering. Let me show you that. So first 3 I'm covering fully, and the second 3 I'm not covering fully. Okay, second 3 I'm not covering fully. So let me show you that. Now, can you see how many objects has got selected? 8 points, 6 areas have been selected. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let me do that one more time. So let me do clear selection. Right. So now I'll drag it from top to bottom. So now how many areas I have to select? I want to delete these 6 elements. Let me clear it just a second. So now I want to delete this one, this, this, and this. All these 6 elements I have to delete. So how to delete? Just drag it from left to right. Now you can see the first 3 I'm covering it fully. Okay, the areas of the first 3 slabs I'm covering it fully, but the areas of the second 3 slabs, in the second line there are 3 more slabs, right? So those 3 slabs I'm not covering fully. I'm just leaving my cursor. Now can you see how many areas have been selected at the bottom? Only 3 areas. Now if I hit delete, okay, only the top 3 has got selected. Why only these 3? Because these areas are fully covered. So now if I do it in this way, let's say the second 3. Am I covering the second three slabs fully? No. If I leave it, nothing is showing. So 4 points selected, nothing is coming down. Only points has got selected. What are those points? These ones, the grid points. Can you see a star symbol, a blue color cross symbol? You can see, right? So those are called as points. We'll talk about points in some time. Let's not talk about this. So that's how you can delete the slabs or you can delete the elements all at a time. Now I'm dragging from left to right from all the slabs, select all the points and then hit delete. So all the slabs has got deleted. That's how you can model the slabs in two different ways. What is the first way? The first way is draw rectangular slab or areas. This one. Okay, draw rectangular slab or areas. So this option is used to draw the individual slab areas. And this one, which is called as quick draw slabs or areas. So this option is used to draw all the slabs for the entire design or entire modeling at a time. So that's how you can model the slabs. Okay, these are the two ways of modeling the slabs. Right. So now how we have modeled the slabs? By using grids. Okay, we have modeled the slabs by using grids. So let me show you the other option. So just click on quick draw slabs or areas. So here you can see draw object using. Currently we have worked with grids. So there are other three options: points, lines, and architecture layer. Anyways, we are not going to focus on architecture layer. So let us focus on points. Okay, first let us focus on points. Again, points, I cannot show it clearly here because we haven't done anything. It's just a simple grid lines, but I'll explain you what actually it looks like. So let me select the points. Now I have selected the points. Now, have we drawn any points here? No. So let me select any particular point. So I'm just clicking on grid point B5. I'm just clicking on it. Now what is happening? So are you able to see anything at the bottom right side, bottom left side? Nothing is showing. So I'm selecting the point. So let's say I'm selecting grid point B4. Nothing is coming. Directly the slab is getting modeled. Why it is modeling in that way? Because we don't have any kind of points in these grid lines. We didn't model the grid points. We directly model the grids. Okay, we directly model the grids. We didn't model the grid points. Now you may have a question like, then what is this? Grid point B4, grid point B5. Those are just notations. Okay, those are just the naming convention for that point. That's it for that intersection. Okay, now how to draw a point? Okay, how to draw a point? So in order to draw the point, so let me erase these ones. Make sure every time whenever you go to the next command, make sure to click on the select object so that the previous command will get disabled. So just click on this one, right? So how to draw the points? So in order to draw the points, you can see an option called a draw here. In the menu bar, you can see a draw, click on that, and you can see an option called draw points. So just click on draw points. Now you can see the object, type of object. What is the type of object? We want to draw a point. So let us select point. Offset along x-axis, let it be 0. Offset along y-axis also, let it be 0. I'll talk about what is this offset indicator. It's just like AutoCAD only. If you remember, if you know AutoCAD, you will know what is meant by offset. Anyways, we'll focus on that in the later cases. So I'm just selecting these ones. Close the dialog box. Okay, close the dialog box. And then what you have to do is you have to draw the points. Okay, you have to select the points. So what I have done currently, so let me clear all this, delete all these grid slabs. So let me select, right. Can you see? Let me do one thing. I'll delete all these ones. Right. So now how to draw the point? So in order to draw the points, just go draw points. Okay. And then select type of object as point, plan offset as 0, along x and y, both 0. Okay. So once you click on this one, okay, just select any two grid points, any 2 or 3 grid points. Let's say I will select this grid point B5. Okay. And then grid point C5. Now, can you see, I mean, if you observe very keenly, there is a blue color mark that is available inside that. Okay, blue color symbol. Let me show you this one. See, currently there is no blue color mark. Once I click on this point, a blue color point will pop out. I hope you are able to see a small minute one. Even if I zoom also, it will show, but it will be like very thin color. Right. Anyways, so now I have selected the points. So what are the points that I have selected? I have selected grid point A5, grid point B5, C5, and let me select D5 also. Okay, D5, which is here. Select. So I have selected the points. Right. So now after selecting the points, okay, after selecting the points, just disable the command. So we have selected the points. So how to disable the command? Select object. So once you click on select object, the previous comments or all the active comments will get disabled. Right. So now what we will do is we have to draw the points. So you can see an option here, quick draw areas around points. Okay, quick draw areas around points. What does it mean? So let me click on this one. Sorry, this one. Quick draw slabs, not areas. Quick draw slabs are areas. So let me click on this one. And you can see a dialog box has got popped up. Type of object is slab, property slab, draw object using points. So I'm drawing the slabs by using points. So now what you have to do is now drag it from left to right. Okay, drag it from left to right and make sure the points, whatever you have selected. Okay, whatever the points you have selected earlier, all those points should come into the box that you are going to drag. Let me explain that. So drag it from left to right. I have selected all these points. Okay, I have selected all these points. Now you don't see anything here because we haven't modeled actually. I'm just showing you the option of modeling the slab. Now, if you go to 3D view, see, so there is nothing that is coming down because we haven't typically modeled. We are just drawing the grids. That's it. So that's why you are not able to see anything here. But anyways, we'll see that one in the later cases also. Right. So now what we will do is let us see how to draw a foundation slab with specific dimensions. Okay, let me go to the XY plane. Okay, let me click on this one. Right. So how to draw a foundation slab of specific dimensions about a particular point. What does it mean? It means now I want to draw a slab with respect to this point. Okay, with respect to this point, I want to draw a foundation slab like this I want to draw. So how to draw that? So for that, we have an option which is called as quick draw areas around points. This one. Okay, there is, I hope you can see this one. Okay, this option. So select that one. So let me click on this. So you can see quick draw areas around points. The name itself is telling. So you are going to draw the areas. Okay, you are going to draw the areas around a point. So this is my point. Grid point B4 is my point. Now around this point, I want to draw an area. I will decide what is the dimension of this area. I will decide. We'll have the option to decide. Let us do that. So just click on this option and you can see a dialog box that is coming down. So what is the type of object? The slab we want to draw, and the shape of object is a rectangular slab, and the property is, let it be a slab one, and the dimension. So here, what is the dimension along X direction? So this is X direction. So how much dimension I need? Let's say I need some 5 meters. Okay, along X I need 5 meters, and along Y, let's say I need 5 meters again, and trim edges at the slab. Trim at slab edges. That means S. So let it be this S only. I'll talk about this one in the later cases. Right. So now you have selected all the properties. So you have given the dimensions of the slab and you have selected which type of object it is. Even though here you are giving it as a rectangular slab, based upon the dimensions that you are giving, it will draw the slab. So typically we are trying to draw the square slab, even though the shape of the object we have given it as rectangle. We don't have a specific option for square. So we have only rectangular. So when you select rectangular, automatically it will consider the dimension. If the dimensions are same, it will draw the square slab. If the dimensions are different, it will draw a rectangular slab. But we also have an option to draw a circular slab. I'll explain this. I'll come to this one in some time. So now how to draw the slab around this particular point. So just click on that point. Okay, whichever point you want to select, any point. So currently I'm just focusing on this point. So click on this point. Now can you see? This is the foundation slab. So from here to here, the distance is 5 meters. From here to here, the distance is 5 meters. But how to know? So here I'm telling that I have given 5 meters, 5 meters. But how to cross check whether it is 5 meters exactly or not? So for that, we have an option which is at the bottom. Here you can see an option called this one. Okay, this is actually the measurement scale. Let me show you that. So just keep the cursor here. Okay, if you keep the cursor, let me click here. Right. So draw dimension lines. Okay, that's basically a measurement line. So select any one point and then freely move to the next point. And you can see the dimension, which is 5 meters, and then click it. Okay, if you drag to the bottom or if you drag to the top, the dimension line will be visible. Okay, let me just click here. Let's say I want to get the notations or I want to get the dimensions at the bottom. Just drag it to the bottom and you can see 5 meters dimension. Similarly here also, just click on this point and then freely move to the next point and then either drag inside or outside. Now I want to get the dimension inside. Okay, I want to get the dimension inside. So just drag the cursor to the inside of the slab and then click it. And you can see 5 meters dimension. That's how you can model the slabs. Okay, around a particular point. Now, similarly, I want a slab to be modeled around this point also, around grid point C4. Let's say I want to model the slab, a rectangular slab. Instead of square slab, I want to model a rectangular slab. How to do that? Same convention. So just go with this one. This is quick draw areas around a point. So just click on this one, right? So now let me give the dimensions. Okay, let me give the dimension. Let's say I'll give the dimension along x is 3 and y let it be 5. Okay, let it be 5. Close the dialog box, or you can keep it like that only, no problem. And then click on any one particular grid point. Okay, let's say I want to draw a slab here, grid point C5. Just click here, that's it. Just click on the intersection of the grid point. Make sure that red color symbol you have to get. Okay, red color plus symbol you have to get. That means it's a center point. Click it and you can see a rectangular slab. Now let's say I want to get the circular slab. How to do that? Similarly, go to this dialog box. Okay, let it be like this only. Or if you have closed this dialog box, just click on this one. Quick draw areas around points, right? And then here in the place of rectangular slab, let me select the circular slab, right? So here circle basically it has a diameter. So you can give the diameter. Let's say I'll give the diameter as 1 meter. That's the diameter. So now select any one particular point. Let's say I will select this particular point and then click here, grid point B5, right? Can you see the slab that is coming, circular slab that is coming down? Similarly, whichever type of slab you want. Let's say I need one more circular slab with a dimension of 5 meters. Okay, so just click on a particular point. I see I'm clicking on grid point C3, right? So that's how you can model the slabs around a point. Okay, that's how you can model the slab around a point. Now, how to disable these ones? In order to disable these ones, so in order to disable the current command, just click on select object, that arrow on the top left pane. Right, all the commands will get disabled. Now, how to delete these ones? Just drag it from left to right, make sure everything gets covered, and then click on delete. Everything gets deleted. So that's how you can draw the slab. Now, let's say I want to draw a beam. So when do we get beams? Especially when we are designing a strap footing, we need beams, obviously. So how to draw a beam? So in order to draw a beam, we have a point, we have a command, which is called as this one, draw beams or lines, this one. This slant line is there, right? Inclined line. So that's called as draw beams or lines. So just click on this draw beams or lines. Okay. Again, a dialog box pops out. So type of object is beam. Let the property be beam1 and plan offset normal. Let it be 0 meters. And which type of beam? So basically, we need straight lines only, not arcs, not all these things. You can try when you are practicing. You just try it out. You will understand what actually happens. Let me go with the straight line only. Now I have selected the specifications of the beam. Now how to draw a beam? Let's say I want to draw the beam from grid point A5 to grid point B5. How to do that? Just click on the first grid point, whichever grid point you need, click on it and then freely move it. Okay, just move it to another point. Make sure you are placing the point at the center, exactly at the center of the intersection point. So place it and then click. Right, you have modeled the slab, you have modeled the beam. You can see a blue color line is popping out. Similarly, let me go with this one. See, currently here it's a dotted line, right? Can you see the dotted line here? Right. So now I will model the beam. It will become a blue color line. See, can you see the dotted line there? No, it's a blue color line. Similarly, here, just click on it. So like that, you can draw the beam. Now, if you want to disable this one, see, you can move this one to the top also, or bottom also, or in inclined way also. It's completely up to you. So let me model here also. See, I can model the beam in this way. I can model the beams like this as well. So like this, you can model the beams whichever way you want, whichever convenient way you want. at a specific angle. Currently, what is the angle of my line? 45 degrees. Now I don't want at 45 degrees. Let's say I want it somewhere around 60, 65, something like that. So you can select whichever points you need. See, like this, I can model the beams as many as I want. Now, how to disable this command? In order to disable this command, just give right click. Right click. It got disabled. Okay, it got disabled. Now, again, if you click here and if you freely move to the next point, it will disable. Right click and then disable. If you want to completely come out of the command, then go for select object. So when you click on select object, that line command will not be there. See, if I'm clicking, so nothing is coming down. So that's how you can work with the drawing of beams. Okay, you can work with the drawing of beams. Now, if you want to see in the 3D portion or 3D view of these ones, so just click on 3D and you can see the beams that are drawn. Can you see the beams? Right. I hope you can see. So we'll see a better picture of beams, no problem. Currently, you can see these are some normal irregular beams that I have drawn just for our understanding. Right. So now what we will do is we will we will actually draw the modeling of slabs, modeling of footings, modeling of foundation slab, all those things. So for that, we have a step-by-step process. Now I have just shown you some basic commands before I go to the normal dimensions. So first I would like to show you this basic command. With these basic commands, we can directly go and model the slabs or foundation. Let us do that. So before going to do that, let me go to the XY plane and let me select the entire grid line. And if there are anything that is available, I'll just delete it. Select everything and then click delete. Right, everything got deleted. Now our grid line is completely free. Right. So now the first thing that we have to do is whenever you are modeling any slabs or any foundations, so let me write that steps in modeling of foundations or footings, anything. Right. So the first step is draw grid lines. Draw grid line that we have completed. And the second step is we have to define. Okay, we have to define material properties. What does it mean by material properties? Material properties in the sense what type of steel we are using, what type of concrete we are using. So these things we have to define. Type of concrete, type of steel. So that's the material properties. So let us first define the material. We have already completed the step 1 in the last session itself. So let us define the material properties. So how to define the material properties? Why we need to define material properties? Because all the foundations or all the footings, whatever we are designing, they will have some materials. It's an RCC member. Foundation is an RCC member. Footing is an RCC member. Column, slab, everything is an RCC member. So that reason we have to define the materials. So how to define the materials? You can see an option here on the menu bar, define. So just click on define and you can see an option called materials. Okay, material. Just click on materials. A dialog box will get popped out. You can see there are some predefined materials are available. CSA, C30, these are default materials. So you can delete these ones. Select these ones and then click delete. It will get deleted. So currently we don't need this one. Let it be like this one. No problem. Now we don't need these materials. Okay, we don't need these materials. We want to add a new material or we want to define a new material. So before defining the new material, let me show you the simple template which I want to draw. Okay, what type of image that we are going to draw? Let me explain you that. So just give me a second. Right. So this is what we are going to draw now. Okay, I hope you can see. Right. So this is what we are going to draw. Right. So here you can see the basic information about our sample project. This is one of the sample projects which we have done for a small site, which is having approximately some 24 or 26 columns are there. I think 24. Yeah, 24 columns are there. So total 24 columns with 24 footings with the different. This is actually the real-time plan. Okay, this is actually the plan which I have worked out for one of the site in one location. Right. So what is the detail? What are the details? See the material. So what is the material? I'm using Fe 500 grade of steel and M20 grade of concrete. And the depth of the foundation is already decided, which is 2.9 meters. SBC of soil, allowable settlement. That's the maximum settlement that any foundation will undergo, 25 mm. Load over column 1, that is 750. load over column 2 is 1020. So how many types of columns we have? Basically, we have two types of columns here. So column 1, column 2, that is footing 1 and footing. You can see here. So column size. So serial number 1, 2. So the type of columns C1, C2. So two columns, two types of columns are there. C1 is having a dimension of 230 by 600 mm. C2 is having a dimension of 450 by 450 mm. Okay, 450 by 450 mm. And the labels, footing labels, F1, F2. So how many footings are there of F1 category? 8 footings are there. Of F2 category, there are 16 footings are available, and length, width, and depth of each footing is shown here. Right. Any doubt for anybody? Somebody
Excuse
has
me, sir. Yeah,
yes, sir.
sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah, no problem.
So from this is your sample project which you have
Yes.
prepared
Yes.
for one
Yes.
extent. So here SPC of soil 300 kilometer per meter square is, I mean, who checked it? You or someone has checked it? How
For
did you
this
verify?
particular site, I haven't checked because it is from apart from Tamil Nadu. So I haven't checked that. I was just given the site, I mean dimensions of the site, and physically I could not go there. So I just
Okay.
got a couple of photos and nearby buildings, all those things. I have got each and every detail of photos, and then I have got the SBC of soil. They got, I mean, it was just a G+3 or G+4 building. It's kind of mini apartment it was. So they
Okay.
have tested on their own, since I said like I cannot come there. So they have given this detail, this 300 kilometers per
And
square meter
coming to
they
this
have given.
column 1, column 2, you got the dimensions and the load, right? So it means you have designed column before?
Yeah, exactly. We have to define before only.
Yes, yes. So we have to design slab, beam, and column. Then
Exactly,
after we have to
exactly.
design the footing
Footings, yes, yes. So whatever the
based on
loads
the
that are transferring from slabs to columns, that load I
yeah.
have to transfer it to the footings.
Okay, okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So these are the details of the things that we are going to draw. So you can see all the slab details, column details, all these things. Actually, I have drawn the grids based upon this only, but I haven't shown you this one in the last session. Right. So here you can see all the details. So there are two types of footings. One is footing 1 and the other one is footing 2. So footing 1 is having a rectangular column, and then footing 1 is having a rectangular shape. Footing 2 is having a square shape. And similarly, the orientation of the columns also you can see. So the column orientation. So here you can see the column is oriented along the longer dimension of the footing. Whereas here, if you see another one, the square one, so it has been oriented, since it's a square, it has no particular orientation. That's about orientation, right? So now let us work on this particular part, this particular drawing. So how to work on this one? So we have to model all these elements. So before modeling all these slabs, first let us try to define the materials. That's what we are looking for. So let me go to the slab. Let me go to the save. So now let us define a new material. So just click on add new material. So click on add new material, and it is asking for the material name. So here we have to define the material properties. Let's say the first material that I'm going to give is the concrete, which is the grade of concrete in our case is M20. So you can give any name according to your convenience, you can give. So I'm just giving it as M20. That's a material name. What is the type of material? It's a concrete. So you can see steel, concrete, rebar, tendon, others. So let me go with the concrete only. M20 represents concrete grade. And then material display color. You can give any color. So whenever you see red color, it means it's a concrete. That's what it means. If you want to change the color, just click on that icon, the color icon, or you can see change. Click on that change, and whichever color you want, you can select. Suppose let's say I want to select this green color, something like this. Click OK, and all my concrete will be represented with this color. Okay, right. So that's a display color. And then the other properties. So material type name is M20, type is concrete, display color, and this one material weight per unit volume. So what is the unit weight of concrete? Unit weight of concrete is 25. That is not the plain concrete, reinforced concrete is 25. For plain concrete, it is 24. So basically, we always design reinforced concrete only. So let us take the unit weight of concrete as 25. And then Young's modulus. So what is the Young's modulus of the concrete? So if you refer IS 456-2000, we have the Young's modulus of concrete, that is EC equals to 5000 times of root FCK. That's the standard formula for Young's modulus of concrete. So we can define Young's modulus of concrete by using, laboratory procedures also. But anyways, let us go with the standard formula. 5000 root FCK. What does FCK represent? FCK represents 20. That is grade of concrete. So you have to solve 5000 into root FCK. If you don't have calculator, you can directly solve here itself. So how to do that? So 5000. Okay. See, I'm just writing down there 5000 into FCK. That is 20. Let me make it as SQRT. That is a square root of 20. If you just click enter, 5000, it's not taking. Let me 5000 root FCK, it will be like somewhere around. Okay, I'll just check that and I'll show you that in the later case. So let me give the value 5000 into 20, it will be like 22360.67. That's the value. So when you do 5000 into root 20, you'll be getting this one. Okay, so this is the value. And Poisson's ratio. Usually for concrete, the Poisson's ratio is taken as 0.3 only. And coefficient of thermal expansion, it's not actually required. So let it be like this only. So 9.9 into 10 power minus 6. And the shear modulus for concrete also, let it be like this. Okay, the default value. And then you can see the other option, specified concrete compressive strength. That is F dash CK. Here it is represented with F dash C only, but it's actually F dash CK. That is target compressive strength or target strength of concrete. So here also it is not 30, it should be 20. So that's the grade of concrete, 20. So just give it as 20. Okay, right. And then it's not a lightweight concrete, so we don't need to bother about the lightweight concrete. And then modulus of rupture for crack deflection. This is for deflections. We'll see that when we run the analysis part. So this will come into picture when we do the analysis part. Right. So this is the basic data that we can give. Okay. And then click OK. So that the M20 grade of concrete has been added. So earlier it was not there. Now it is there. So like that, you can work with the material. Now I have added the concrete as the material. Let us add steel also as the material. How to add new material? And here material name. Let me give it as FE 500. I think it is 500 only. Let me have a cross check. Yeah, it is FE 500 is the grade of steel. So let me give FE 500. That's the grade of steel. Okay, FE 500, and it is material type. Here, most of the people will get confused because here you can see two options. One is steel, other one is rebar. Tendon, it's okay because that is used in pre-stressed concrete. But which one we have to give? Is it the steel or is it the rebar? We should not give it as a steel. The reason is steel represents it's a steel structures. That means when you are designing a steel structures like a truss or a rafter or a gantry girder or a simple I section, all those are steel members. So when you are designing a reinforced concrete, they are all reinforcement bars. That is a rebars. So don't confuse between steel and rebar. Steel is nothing but a pure steel element or pure structural steel structure. But rebar is nothing but the reinforcement bar that we generally use in the concrete. So in concrete, we'll use rebar. So we often confuse it with steel. It's not a steel, it's a rebar. Okay. So let me select the rebar and then display color. If you want to change it to any other color, you can change it. Let me select some color and then click OK. And then weight per unit volume. What is the unit weight of steel? Unit weight of steel is 78.5 kilonewtons per cubic meter. So that's the standard weight of unit weight of steel, 78.5. And then material Young's modulus is 2000. That we know. Okay, 2 into 10 not 2000, 2 into 10 power 5. So 24 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2 into 10 power 5. Right. And then yield stress, minimum yield stress, minimum tensile stress. So minimum yield stress is nothing but the grade of steel. Minimum tensile stress is also nothing but grade of steel. So yield stress for Fe 500 bars is 500. Yield stress, tensile stress for Fe 500 bars is also 500. If you are taking Fe 415 bars, then minimum yield stress is 415. Minimum tensile stress will also be 415. So whatever is your grade of steel, same number you have to represent here. That's the yield stress and tensile stress values, correct? And then click OK. So that we have defined the two materials, Fe 500 and M20 are the materials that we have defined. And then click OK. So that's the second part of defining the materials. Okay, that's the step 2. Right. So now the next step that we are going to do is defining column properties. Okay, define column properties. That's the next step. So how to define the column properties? So here we have, if you see this diagram, we have different columns. right? There are multiple columns that are available. So column 1, column 2, columns, not the footings, columns I'm talking about. So we have to define all these columns. So all the 24 columns, whatever that are there, we have to define all these columns. So now what I'll do is I'll tell you for one column. So you try to solve it. However, I have to do it in the next session. I'll do it in the next session. But you try to do it, you try to model all these columns. But I'll show you for one or two columns based upon the orientation. So how to define the column properties? So here, how many types of columns we have in the drawing? We have two types of columns. Okay, column 1 is having a rectangular shape. Column 2 is having a square shape, 450 by 450. So let's define these two sizes. So first we have to define these two sizes in the SAFe software. So how to define them? So in order to define the column properties, go to define, and here you can see an option called column properties. So just click on column properties, a dialog box comes out. So first we have to define them. That means we have to add the column property. Okay, so you can see one default column, that is column 1. So we don't need to do this one. So we will delete this later. Okay, we'll delete this. Currently, if you select this one and if you click on delete property, it will not get deleted, because if you want to delete a property, you should have at least the two properties here. Okay, so for that reason, let us add a new property. Okay, so let us add a new property. So click on add new property, and here you can give the property name. So usually what I follow is, for columns, I'll give it as CM, that is column member or column. So let me give the size of the column, that is 230 by what is size, 230 by 460, 230 by 600, that is first size. So 230 by 600, I'm just giving some name to the columns. 230 by 600, and the grade of concrete is M20. I'll just give it in this way. Okay, 230 by 6 cm, 230 by 600 M20. And then material. What is the material of the column? M20. So select the column material, that is concrete material. And then column shape. So which shape of column? So rectangular, circular, T shape, L shape, general. So we'll go for rectangular only. Again, I told you, based upon the dimensions, it will automatically consider whether it is a rectangular column or square column. Right. So now here you have to remember one thing is, just because here you have given 230 by 600 doesn't mean it will consider the dimensions. So this is just the name to the column. So now we have to define the dimensions to the column. So in order to define the dimensions, you can see parallel to 2 axis, parallel to 3 axis. So in SAFe or in ETABS, what it will do is it will not give it as X, Y, Z axis. It will give 2, 3 axis. Okay. 2 represents it's an X axis. You can see the image here. Okay. 2 represents the X axis and 3 represents the Y axis. So that's how you can identify. Right. So parallel to 2 axis, that means parallel to X axis, what is the dimension? Okay, parallel to X axis, what is the dimension? So let me give the parallel to X axis as 600 mm itself, and parallel to 3 axis is 230 mm. 230. Right. So that's how we can give. So parallel to 2 axis and parallel to 3 axis. Right. And then click on OK. So remaining properties we don't need, just click on OK. So like that, we can add the first column property. So now you can delete this default one. So select column 1, click on delete, it will get deleted. Now let us add the second column also. So add new property, just give the dimension, that is CM 450 by 450. That's the second column dimension. CM 450 by 450 M20 grade of concrete. Right. And the material. What is the material for column 2? For column 2 also, the material is concrete, that is M20 grade of concrete. Column shape, let it be rectangular only. And parallel to 2 axis and 3 axis, both are same, that is 450, and the other one is also 450. 450 and 450. Right. So that's how we can define the material. So and then click on OK. Now you can see both columns have been defined. Now in my case, I have only 2 types of columns. If you have 10 types of columns, you have to define all those 10 types manually only. There is no automated option. We have to define them manually. Right. So that's how we can define the types of columns. Like this, types of beams, types of slabs, all these things we can define. But currently, let us focus on columns only. So I have defined the 2 columns. So let me click on OK. Right. So column defining or column definitions has been completed. Now here, if you go to the model, how many types of footings we have? Two types of footings we have. What are they? One is footing 1, other one is footing 2. What is the size of footing 1? 3000, that is length, and 2000, that is width, and 500 mm, that is the overall depth of the footing. Similarly, for footing 2 also, 3000 is the length, 3000 is the width, 4000 is the overall, 400 is the overall depth of the section. So now what we have to do is we will define the depth of the footing slab. Okay, we will define the depth of the footing slab. So how to define the slab properties? That's our next thing. So that's the step 4. Okay, next step 4 is defining slab properties. This one we will see it in the next class. Defining slab properties. So we'll continue this in the next session.